Hi, this is a conclusion of my video series called A Stealth Muslim in Action. He says he's Irish, and I believe him. And when I do his words, I'll be reading from this side of my face. And when I do my words, I'll be reading from this side. And apparently, oh, you know something? It's on another video series where I expose that. But you have to go to Muhammad Tube to see it. That's it. That's where it was taking place. It's already been done. Yeah, it's on a different script, so I didn't lose it. Okay, but pretty much since then, he's been trying to ignore the meaning of, totally ignoring the hadith that explains why Qur'an 4:24 really does. I mean, he's been trying to say. Well, I want to tell you something. How this thing started. I gotta start this thing here. What happened here is it all started when I pointed out that I was for Anne Barnhart for bringing parts of the Qur'an she said was evil, and one of them was one of the scriptures I mentioned was Qur'an 4:24, which I feel removes African American complaint for the time the said slavery, because it says, "Forbidden to you are married women except those whom your right hand possess." And apparently, this stealth Muslim, who says he's not a Muslim, that's why I call him a stealth Muslim. The reason why he desperately tried to confront me here is because, there's a lot of blacks and African Americans are becoming Muslim now, and I guess he thought, oh my gosh, if they come upon this, it might keep them from being Muslim or something. So he went on an all-out attack trying to say that I was misinterpreting it, that I was lying about it, even though he later said I wasn't lying and stuff like that, and that I was twisting it and all that sort of stuff. And little did he realize I had the hadith in the back of my mind that I was going to use eventually after he gave the rope to hang himself. And then I was springing on him, and then finally I did, and this is kind of like after the fact that I was springing on him. So anyway, what that hadith is, that Sahih hadith that I sprung on him, shows that it's more than just allowing a Muslim slave master to have sex with his married slave women. It is allowing Muslims to rape women in front of their husbands, their non-Muslim, the captives, and so it's worse than what I thought. And then with that, he desperately throws out everything, so history lessons and everything, trying to ask me if I think slavery is evil and all that stuff. You're just trying to change the subject. And we'll see how he does here at the very end here. You'll see what happens here. I put another block on him because it just gets ridiculous here. But then this is what he says: "No, I do not desperately defend Islam." Another lie from you. What I'm doing is trying to help you see past your bias. How am I biased? And actually take the time to read an entire passage before concluding incorrectly. He's trying to get me to believe that it's dealing with marriage and not slavery. Qur'an 4:24. It's not doing a very good job, as you'll soon see. Okay. The hadith that you desperately try to forget proves I read Qur'an 4:24 perfectly, actually. It removes African American complaint for the time the U.S. had slavery big time, due to the hadith that explains it further, saying it was okay for Muslim men to rape women in front of their non-Muslim husbands. Do you want me to post that hadith again? So again, who is the one lying here? The passage is very clear, that's for sure. So who is boldly lying here? After war happened in that era, in other words, it's not supposed to happen again. In that era, both in the Middle East and in Europe, Asia, and the known world, a conquering army would take captives. A Muslim conquering army. How convenient of you to leave out the word Muslim. Often women and children, as the fit men were likely killed in battle. And if they weren't, then with Qur'an 424, they could see their wives raped in front of their eyes by Muslims. But hey, that's a religion to defend desperately, I see. These women were sometimes taken as these women were sometimes taken as wives by the conquerors, not sex slaves as you claim. He now desperately tries to defend terrorists. I start editing here because I don't want. So I'll tell you what happens here. He now desperately tries to defend terrorist Islam with a bunch of snow of words, like a defense lawyer with a mass murdering client. This passage clearly says that marriage is only permitted with captives if they consent, and the dowry is still owed them, despite their being captives. There's nothing about consent here, but anyway, there's so many Muslims who said that to me already. And I say, okay, yeah, he tries to ignore the hadith that contradicts this, which I will be posting at the end of this. Take the time to read more of that era about warfare. Yeah, it's like it's done in the past. It's not going to happen again. Tries to make one think Quran 24 is not to be allowed in the future. Perhaps you may put your views in the appropriate context before condemning an entire religion due to your lack of knowledge. Pulls ad hominem by saying I lack knowledge of Islam when it's clear that I don't lack knowledge of Islam at all. And he goes on, throwing out words to cause diversion from Quran 424. He goes back to try to lie about what it means by sin. Again, it's dealing with marriage, not, having sex with someone's wife if she's your slave. And with that, I have it up to here, and I say, I say this. I finally have it up to my eyebrows. I say, something? I was about to add my latest back and forth with you, but you are starting to bore me. You say you aren't a Muslim, yet you desperately defend terrorist Islam, which means you're insane. There is no reason to be so desperate to defend such an evil faith if you are not a part of it. So I feel that you are not only wasting my time, but you are wasting your time as well. Unless you're getting paid by good petrodollars by Muslims to to defend it. So I feel that you are wasting my time as long as you. I think I'll just put another block on you until you become truthful as to why you so desperately defend an evil faith you claim you aren't a member of. If you can give a good, rational explanation, maybe I'll take that block off of you. Let's see if my Bane, he calls himself Dragon Driver's Bane, because my back and forth with him was as Dragon Driver 100. Let's see if my Bane is right about Quran 424 only being about marriage, okay? Okay, this is it. And I believe this is from Sahih Muslim Hadith. Abu Dawud 2150. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri said, quote, the Apostle of Allah sent a military expedition to Atas on the occasion of the Battle of Hunain. They met their enemy. Yeah, probably those who didn't want to have their patooties in there 5 times a day, every day for the rest of their life. They met their enemy. That's probably why they were their enemy. And fought with them. They defeated them and took them captives. Some of the companions of the Apostle of Allah were reluctant to have intercourse, rape, more like it, with the female captives in the presence of their husbands. In other words, they still had a conscience at this time. Yeah. Some of the companions of the Apostle of Allah were reluctant to have intercourse. They just felt kind of weird about, raping someone's wife in front of the husband. With the female captives in the presence of their husbands, who were unbelievers. In other words, not Muslims. That's why they're getting this. That's why they're being raped in front of them, is because they're not Muslim. So Allah, the Exalted, sent down the Quranic verse. In other words, Mo got a really evil idea. Quote, And all married women are forbidden unto you, save those captives whom your right hand possess. Pow! Qur'an 4, that's a Qur'an verse 4, verse 24. So what was that again? Some here just might need to hear it twice, so I'll read it again. So how's it go? We'll read it here, again here. Alright. I'll have to, Abu Dawud 2, verse 21-50, in case you think I'm lying. You think I'm an evil infidel lying here. So Abu Dawud, Abu D-A-W-U-D, I believe a Sahih Muslim hadith. 2150. Quote, some of the companions of the Apostle of Allah were reluctant to have intercourse, rape, with the female captives in the presence of their husbands. They were still kind of human, it sounds. Who were unbelievers, not Muslims. So Allah, the Exalted, sent down the Quranic verse. Mo got a really evil idea. Quote, all married women are forbidden unto you, save those captives whom your right hand possess. Pow! Qur'an verse 424. Goes to show you, everyone, all along, that I was being truthful, and this guy, trying to say it was all dealing with marriage, not with having sex with married slave women, was taqiyyaing for Allah. Even though he says he's not a Muslim, he was desperately defending it, desperately defending terrorist Islam. Stealth Muslim, in action, conclusion, end of story. That's how he ended. Bye.